The Valen merchant ship drifted through the darkness of the outer rim, searching for treasure among the dead. Captain Rova stood at the bridge window and watched the scanner display light up with something unexpected. A ship, an old ship. So old that her computer could not identify its origin. "What is that?" she asked her pilot. "Unknown design," he said. "But it is big." Very big, Rova felt excitement build in her chest. Unknown meant valuable. Unknown meant profit. She ordered her crew to prepare for boarding. They would find metals, technology, perhaps even weapons from a forgotten age. The outer rim was full of such secrets. The ship grew larger as they approached. It was dark and silent, covered in thousands of years of space dust. The hull was damaged in many places, but the structure was still strong. Rova had never seen anything like it. The design was strange, aggressive. The ship looked like it was built for war, but also for something else. For traveling very far. "I am reading the name on the hull," her pilot said. "It says, Eternal Dawn?" The name meant nothing to Rova. She ordered the docking clamps to connect, and her crew prepared to board. Inside, the ship was dead. No power, no lights. The air was old and thin. Rova and her team of 6 walked through the corridors with their lights cutting through the darkness. They found storage rooms filled with equipment they did not recognize. They found control rooms with screens that would never turn on again. They found living quarters with personal items still in place. Photographs, books, small objects that meant something to someone once. "What species lived here?" asked Bora, the youngest member of the crew. She was an engineer, always curious, always asking questions. "I do not know," Rova admitted. They walked deeper into the ship. The damage was worse here. Walls had collapsed. Entire sections were open to space. But then they found a door that was still sealed. Still powered by some emergency system that had lasted for centuries. Rova opened it. Inside was a room filled with pods. Hundreds of them. Thousands. They stretched back into the darkness farther than her light could reach. Cryo sleep pods. But they were all dark. All dead. The beings inside had died long ago when the power failed. "This is a colony ship," Rova said quietly. "They were going somewhere. Starting a new life. They did not make it," Bora said sadly. The crew walked through the rows of dead pods in silence. It was a graveyard. A tomb floating in space. Rova was about to order them to leave when Bora called out, "Captain! This one is active." Rova ran to her. One pod, in the middle of all the death, still glowed with soft blue light. Inside was a figure. A male. His skin was brown. His hair was black. His face was peaceful in sleep. "What is he?" asked one of the crew. Rova looked at the display on the pod. It showed vital signs. Strong ones. The being inside was healthy, alive, waiting. "The computer says he is human," Rova said. The crew went silent. Everyone knew the word. Everyone had heard the stories. Humans, the Death World species. The monsters from legend who could survive anything. Who fought wars that burned entire systems. Who were so dangerous that the galaxy had united to stop them. But humans were extinct. They had died 3,000 years ago in a war with the Kelrith. Both species had destroyed each other. Every child in the galaxy knew this story. "That is impossible," said Bora. "Humans are not real. They are just stories." "The computer does not lie," Rova said. She looked at the sleeping figure. "He seems so ordinary, not like a monster at all. Just a person, sleeping." "We should leave him," said her pilot. "Wake a human? Are you mad? He will kill us all." "He is one being," Rova said. "There are 7 of us. And look at him. He is just sleeping." Maybe the stories were wrong. Maybe humans were not so dangerous. She made her decision. She pressed the revival button. The pod began to hum. Lights flashed. The temperature inside began to rise. Frost melted from the glass. The human's eyes moved beneath his eyelids. Then they opened. Kan Goyun woke up. The first thing he felt was cold. Deep cold in his bones. The second thing he felt was confusion. Where was he? What had happened? The last thing he remembered was the alarm. The ship was failing. The captain ordered emergency cryo sleep. He had climbed into the pod. He had closed his eyes. Now he opened them and saw monsters. Creatures with gray skin and large black eyes stood around his pod, staring at him. Aliens. His training took over. He moved before he could think. The pod door flew open. Do-yun's hand grabbed the nearest creature by the throat. He threw it into another one. A third creature reached for a weapon, but Do-yun was faster. He struck it in the chest with his palm, and it flew backward and hit the wall. Stop! Stop! Someone was yelling. Do-yun spun around, ready to fight. But then he saw their faces. They were afraid, terrified. They were not attacking. They were cowering. He stopped. His heart was pounding. His hands were shaking. He looked around and saw the dark room. The dead pods? The creatures on the ground, groaning in pain. Where am I? He asked. His voice was rough from sleep. The one who had been yelling stepped forward carefully. She was taller than the others, with silver patterns on her gray skin. A leader, you are on my ship, she said. I am Captain Rova. We found you. We woke you. My ship, Do-yun said. The Eternal Dawn, where is my crew? Where are the colonists? Rova's face changed. It became sad. They are gone, she said. The power failed long ago. You are the only one who survived. Do-yun felt the words hit him like a punch. He turned and looked at the rows of dark pods. All those people, families, children, scientists, soldiers, all of them had trusted the mission. All of them had hoped for a new home. All of them were dead. How long? He asked. We do not know exactly, Rova said. But this ship is very old. Thousands of years. Thousands of years. Do-yun fell to his knees. Earth, Korea, his mother and father, his sister, his friends. Everyone he had ever known was dead. Had been dead for longer than he could imagine. He was alone. Rova watched the human kneel on the ground. He did not look like a monster now. He looked like a person who had lost everything. We will help you, she said. We will take you somewhere safe. Do-yun looked up at her. His eyes were wet, but his face was hard. Where is safe? He asked. Where do I go now? Rova did not have an answer. She helped him stand. She led him out of the room of death and onto her ship. She gave him food and water and a place to rest. Then she contacted the Galactic Council. This is Captain Rova of the merchant vessel Silver Path, she said into the communicator. I have found something impossible. I have found a living human. The galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council station called Harmony Prime was the largest structure Do-yun had ever seen. It was a city floating in space. Millions of beings lived there. Thousands of ships came and went every day. It was the center of everything. And everyone on it was afraid of him. Do-yun walked through the corridors with guards on every side. They were big creatures with armor and weapons pointed at him. The people they passed stopped and stared. Some ran away. Children were pulled behind their parents. Shops closed their doors. He was a monster to them. A nightmare that had become real. Is this necessary? Do-yun asked the small creature walking beside him. I am not going to hurt anyone. The creature was called Counselor Tesh. He was Marani, a species with blue skin and nervous eyes that blinked too often. He had been assigned to handle the human situation. He did not seem happy about it. It is for your protection, Tesh said. Many people here want you dead. They believe you are dangerous. I have not done anything. You are human. That is enough. They arrived at a large room with a high ceiling. Hundreds of beings sat in rows, all looking down at a platform in the center. The Galactic Council. Representatives from every major species in the galaxy. They had come to decide what to do with him. Do-yun was led to the platform. He stood there alone, surrounded by eyes full of fear and hatred. Count Do-yun, said a voice from above. You are human. Is this correct? Yes. You were found on a ship that left your homeworld over 4,000 years ago? Is this correct? Yes, murmurs spread through the room. 4,000 years. The human was older than most of their civilizations. Do you know what happened to your species? The voice asked. Do-yun shook his head. I was in cryo sleep. I woke up 2 days ago. I know nothing. A screen appeared in the air above him. It showed images and videos. Space battles. Planets on fire. Ships exploding. Boats floating in the void. 3,000 years ago, humanity went to war with the Kelrith Dominion, the voice explained. It was the most terrible war in galactic history. Both species were violent. Both were aggressive. They could not live together in peace. In the end, they destroyed each other. Humanity is extinct. The Kelrith are extinct. The galaxy was finally safe. Do-yun watched the images. He saw human ships fighting. He saw human soldiers dying. He saw Earth, his beautiful Earth, burning. This is not right, he said quietly. What did you say? Do-yun looked up at the council. I said this is not right. Humans were not like this. We were not monsters. We were explorers, scientists, builders. Yes, we could fight. But we did not want war. We wanted peace. We wanted to join the galactic community. Laughter came from some parts of the room. Cold, mocking laughter. Humans were the most dangerous species the galaxy has ever seen, said a tall creature with green scales. He was Torani, a military species. You killed trillions. You burned worlds. You are a plague. That is not true, Do-yun said. It is history. Then history is wrong. The council argued for hours. Some wanted to kill Do-yun. He was too dangerous to live. Some wanted to study him. He was the last of his kind, valuable for science. Some wanted to use him as a weapon. A human soldier could be powerful. No one asked Do-yun what he wanted. Finally, they reached a decision. He would not be killed. He would not be studied. He would be kept on Harmony Prime under guard. He would have limited freedom. He could access the historical archives to learn about the galaxy. But he could not leave. He was a prisoner without a cell. Counselor Tesh led him to his quarters. It was a small room with a bed and a computer terminal. Comfortable but secure. I am sorry, Tesh said. This is the best I could do. You tried to help me? Tesh blinked nervously. I do not think you are a monster. I think you are just a person. But I am only one voice. The council is afraid. Afraid of what? I am one man. Afraid of what you represent? Afraid that if there is one human, there might be more. Afraid that humanity might return. He left Do-yun alone. For the next few days, Do-yun studied. He read everything he could find about human history. About the war with the Kelrith. About how both species died. The more he read, the more wrong it felt. The humans in these records were not the people he knew. They were savages, killers, beasts. The records showed them attacking peaceful worlds, destroying innocent ships, fighting for no reason except violence. But Do-yun remembered Earth. He remembered his country, Korea. He remembered his people. They were not like this. They were kind. They cared about each other. They wanted to build a better future. Something was wrong with these records. He dug deeper. He searched for original sources, for records from the time of the war. Most of them were missing, deleted, but he found fragments. Pieces that did not match the official story. He found a report from a human diplomat who was negotiating peace with a Kelrith. He found a message from a Kelrith commander who wanted to end the war. He found evidence that both sides were tired of fighting, that they were close to an agreement. Then the record stopped. The next entry said both species had destroyed each other in a final battle, but that made no sense. Why would two species who wanted peace suddenly destroy each other? Do-yun searched more. He used every skill he had learned in special forces. He broke through security systems. He accessed files he was not supposed to see. And he found it. Hidden deep in the archives was a file with high security. It contained coordinates. A location in space marked with one name, the grave of Sol. Sol, Earth Sun. His home system. The file said the Sol system was quarantined. Forbiddance. No one was allowed to go there. The official reason was radiation from the war, but Do-yun did not believe that. Someone did not want anyone to go to Earth. Someone was hiding something. He needed to find out what. That night, Bora came to visit him. The young Valen engineer from Captain Rova's crew. She had stayed on Harmony Prime to make repairs on her ship. I saw the council meeting, she said. It was not fair. They did not listen to you. No, they did not. What will you do? Do-yun looked at her. She was young and kind. She had helped him when he woke up. She had shown him compassion when everyone else showed fear. I need to go somewhere, he said. But I cannot do it alone. Where? Earth. Bora's eyes went wide. The Sol System? That is forbidden. That is the most forbidden place in the galaxy. I know, but I think the answers are there. I think someone is lying about what happened to humanity. I need to find the truth. Bora was quiet for a long moment. Going to Sol was illegal, dangerous. If they were caught, they would be executed, but she looked at Do-yun and saw something in his eyes. Pain, loss, determination. He had lost everything. His world. His people. His entire species. All he had left was the truth. My ship is fast, she said. And I know how to avoid patrols. Do-yun smiled. It was the first time he had smiled since waking up. Thank you. They made their plan. In 3 days, they would steal a ship and run. They would go to the Forbidden System. They would find the grave of Sol. They would find the truth about humanity, and the galaxy would learn that some things cannot stay buried forever. The stolen ship jumped out of hyperspace, and Do-yun saw his home for the first time in 4,000 years. Earth hung in the darkness like a blue and green jewel. Clouds swirled over oceans. Continents spread beneath them, covered in forests and plains. It was alive. It was beautiful, and it was supposed to be dead. This is impossible, Bora said from the pilot seat. The records say Earth was destroyed in the war. Burned to nothing. But look at it. Do-yun looked. He could not speak. His throat was tight. His eyes were wet. Earth had survived. His planet had healed itself over 3,000 years. Life had returned, but there were no lights on the night side. No signals from the surface. No ships in orbit. Humanity was still gone. Take us down, Do-yun said. They flew through the atmosphere and landed in a wide valley. Mountains rose on both sides. A river flowed through the center. Trees grew everywhere, thick and green. Do-yun opened the door and stepped outside. He breathed real air for the first time since he woke up. It smelled like grass and water and life. It smelled like home. He walked through the forest and found what he was looking for: ruins, the remains of a city. Buildings had fallen and crumbled. Roads had cracked and broken. Trees grew through the concrete. Nature was taking back what humans had built, but the buildings were not burned. They were not melted by weapons. They had simply fallen apart from time and neglect. There was no war here, Do-yun said. No battle. No destruction. The people just left. Or were taken, Bora said quietly. They searched the ruins for hours. They found old vehicles rusted into nothing. They found stores with goods still on the shelves, rotted and decayed. They found homes with furniture still in place. It was like everyone had disappeared in a single moment. Then Do-yun found a door that led underground. It was hidden beneath a collapsed building. A bunker, a shelter built to survive disaster. He forced it open and went inside. The bunker was dark, but dry, protected. The equipment inside was old, but preserved. Computers, machines, containers. With labels he could read. And in the center of the main room, a message was waiting for him. Do-hyun found the computer and turned it on. It still worked. The screen lit up and a face appeared. A woman with black hair and tired eyes. She wore a white coat. A scientist. My name is Dr. Park Jasu, she said. If you are seeing this, you are human. You have come home. And you need to know the truth. Do-yun sat down and listened. The war with the Kelrath was real, Jasu said. But it was ending. We were negotiating peace. The Kelrath were not monsters. They were just different, proud, territorial. Once we understood each other, we found ways to agree. We were going to sign a treaty. A real peace. She paused. Her face was filled with pain. The Galactic Council did not want this. They were afraid of us, afraid of the Kelrath. Two powerful species working together would change the balance of power. So they stopped it. They sabotaged the peace talks. They made each side think the other had betrayed them. They turned allies into enemies. Doyan felt cold anger building in his chest. The final battle was a trap, a setup. The Council forces waited until both fleets destroyed each other, then they came to finish the survivors. Earth was not burned in the war. It was evacuated. The Council took our people, scattered them across the galaxy, erased them, killed them quietly, one by one. They called it relocation. It was genocide. Jasu wiped her eyes. I survived because I hid. Me and a few others. We knew the truth, but we could not fight. We could not win. So we preserved what we could. This bunker contains human DNA samples, embryos, everything needed to rebuild our species. We left it for the future, for someone who would come back. Someone who would bring humanity home. She looked directly at the camera, directly at Doyan. If you are human and you are hearing this, we left you the seeds. Bring us back, and make the galaxy remember what they did to us. The message ended. Doyan sat in silence for a long time. His people had not died in war. They had been murdered, erased from history, turned into monsters in stories so no one would mourn them. Doyan, Bora said. She was looking at a scanner. Ships are coming. Military ships. They tracked us. He stood up. How long? Maybe 1 hour. 1 hour. Not enough time. But he knew what he had to do. Help me gather everything, he said. The DNA samples. The embryos. The computers. Everything we can carry. We are taking it with us? And then what? Then I tell the galaxy the truth. They worked fast. They loaded containers onto the ship. They copied data files. They took everything that mattered. When they ran outside, the sky was filling with ships. A full fleet. The lead ship was massive, covered in weapons. This is Admiral Kren of the Galactic Defense Force, a voice boomed from the sky. Human, you are under arrest. Surrender now or be destroyed. Keep loading, Doyan told Bora. He walked toward the ships. We are not playing games, Kren said. You have entered forbidden space. You have stolen Council property. You will come with us or you will die. And this time we will make sure Earth is truly dead. We will burn it to dust. Doyan stopped walking. He looked up at the fleet. You are afraid, he said. You have been afraid for 3,000 years. Afraid that someone would find out what you did. Afraid that humanity would come back. Humanity is one man. You are nothing. Then why did you bring a whole fleet? He lifted a device in his hand. A transmitter. Connected to every communication channel in the galaxy. My name is Doyan. I am human. And I'm going to tell you what really happened to my people. He pressed the button. His voice went everywhere. Every station. Every ship. Every planet. Billions of beings heard him speak. He told them about the war. About the peace talks. About the betrayal. He played pieces of Jasu's message. He showed the evidence. He explained how the Council had murdered 2 species and lied about it for 3,000 years. Humanity did not die in battle, he said. We were killed by the people who called themselves peacekeepers. We were erased so they could stay in power. And they will do it to you too. Any species that becomes too strong. Any species that threatens their control. They will destroy you and call it justice. The transmission ended. In the sky, Kren's fleet hung motionless. They were waiting for orders. Waiting to see what the galaxy would do. Kill him, Kren commanded. Kill him now. Destroy everything. But before the weapons could fire, other ships appeared. Valan merchants, Torani rebels, dozens of small vessels from species who had heard the message and believed it. "We stand with the human," one of them said. More ships came. And more. The galaxy was waking up. Do-Yun smiled. He turned and ran back to his ship. Bora had it ready. They lifted off and flew through the chaos, dodging fire, weaving between ships. Behind them, Earth grew smaller. But it was not lost. It would be waiting when they came back, and they would come back. Do-Yun had made a promise. To Jisu, to his people, to himself, humanity would return, and nothing in the galaxy would stop them. The galaxy was burning, not with fire but with anger. Do-Yun's message had spread to every corner of known space. Billions of beings had heard it. Many did not believe it. They called it lies, propaganda, the desperate words of a dangerous animal, but many others believed. On 100 worlds, people took to the streets. They demanded answers from the council. They demanded the truth. Some governments tried to silence them. Some governments joined them. Old alliances broke apart. New ones formed. The Galactic Council was losing control. Do-Yun watched the chaos from a small ship hiding in an asteroid field. He had escaped the fleet at Earth, but he could not run forever. He needed help. He needed allies. He needed a plan. "We are receiving a transmission," Bora said. "Unknown source? They want to meet. Who are they?" "They say they are Kelrith." Do-Yun felt his heart stop. The Kelrith. The species humanity had supposedly destroyed. The species that had supposedly destroyed humanity. They were extinct. Everyone knew this, but everyone knew humans were extinct too. Where do they want to meet? Bora checked the coordinates. A moon in the outer rim, neutral territory. It could be a trap. It could be. But they knew where to find us. If they wanted us dead, they could have sent the council. Do-Yun thought about it. He had no choice. He needed allies, and if any Kelrith had survived, they were the only ones who understood what he was going through. "Take us there," he said. The moon was cold and empty. Gray rocks under a gray sky. Do-Yun landed near a canyon and waited. After an hour, another ship arrived. It was old and patched together from different parts. A survivor's ship. A figure stepped out. It was tall and thin with pale skin and 4 eyes. It looked like a Kelrith from the old pictures, but different. Mixed with something else. "You are the human," the figure said. "Yes, I am called Moran. I am what remains of the Kelrith. A hybrid. There are a few hundred of us left, hidden across the galaxy. We have been waiting for this moment for a very long time." Do-Yun studied Moran carefully. The 4 eyes studied him back. "You knew the truth?" Do-Yun said. "About the betrayal. We knew. Our ancestors passed the story down. Generation after generation? We knew the council murdered both our peoples. We knew they would kill us if they found us. So we hid, we survived, and we waited for someone to finally expose the truth." Moran stepped closer. "You did what we could not do. You woke the galaxy up. Now let us help you finish what you started." They talked for hours. Moran told Do-Yun about the hidden Kelrith communities, their resources, their knowledge, their anger. Do-Yun told Moran about the bunker on Earth, the DNA samples, the embryos, the chance to bring humanity back. "We will help you rebuild," Moran said. "Humans and Kelrith together like we should have been 3,000 years ago. Let the council see what they tried to destroy." They formed an alliance. It was small and fragile, but it was real. Over the next weeks, they gathered more allies. Captain Rova and her merchant ships. Rebellious officers from the Torani military who were disgusted by the lies. Small species who had been oppressed by the council for centuries. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, anyone who wanted a different galaxy. They built a fleet. Not a big one, but determined. And then the council struck back. "This is the Galactic Security Command," Admiral Kren announced on every channel. "Do-Yun is a terrorist." His message was false. His evidence was fabricated. Anyone who helps him will be considered an enemy of galactic peace. A bounty of 10 million credits is offered for his capture. Dead or alive. 10 million credits. It was more than most people would see in a lifetime. They are scared, Miran said. They would not offer so much if they were not scared. They should be scared, said a new voice. Everyone turned. A hologram appeared in the center of their command room. It showed a woman's face, calm and confident, with eyes that glowed faintly with digital light. Who are you? Do-Yun asked. I am General Hwon Seo-jin, Korean Army Cyber Command. At least I was. Now I'm something else. An artificial intelligence. I was created to protect humanity. When the war ended and the evacuation began, I was uploaded into the defense network. I have been sleeping for 3,000 years. Your return to Earth woke me up. Do-Yun stared at the hologram. An AI general. A piece of old Korea, still alive. What can you do? Soo-jin smiled. Let me show you. Across the Sol system, machines began to wake up. Defense platforms hidden in asteroids. Weapon satellites buried under dust. Ships stored in underground hangars on Mars and the moons of Jupiter. Humanity had built all of this before the end. A final defense that was never used. Now it was ready. The Council does not know about this, Soo-jin said. They thought they destroyed everything. But we hid our best technology. We saved it for this moment, for when humanity would need it again. The fleet was no longer small. With Soo-jin's forces, it was a real threat, but Do-Yun knew it was not enough. They could not win a straight fight against the entire Council military. They needed to break the Council itself, turn its members against each other. We need more evidence, he said. We need proof that cannot be denied. We need the Council's own records. Counselor Tesh stepped forward. The nervous Mirani who had helped Do-Yun on Harmony Prime, he had defected after hearing the broadcast. He had risked everything to join them. I can get the records, he said. I still have access codes. I still have friends in the archive department. If I go back to Harmony Prime, I can find the original files, the ones they tried to delete. They will kill you if they catch you. Probably. But this is bigger than me. This is about the future. I would rather die for truth than live with lies. Do-Yun looked at the small blue creature. He had underestimated him. Tesh was braver than he seemed. Go, Do-Yun said. And thank you. Tesh left on a small ship, alone, heading into the heart of enemy territory. While he was gone, Do-Yun prepared for war. He trained with his allies. He planned strategies with Miran and Soo-jin. He visited the DNA samples they had taken from Earth and thought about the future, a future where humans lived again, where they built cities and raised families, where children played under blue skies and never knew the pain of extinction. He would make it happen. Whatever the cost, 3 days later, Tesh returned. His ship was damaged. His arm was broken. But he was smiling. I got them, he said. The original records, everything, orders from the Council to sabotage the peace talks, reports on the extermination of human survivors, lists of species that were erased before us. The Council has been doing this for thousands of years, killing anyone who threatens their power. Do-Yun took the data and looked through it. It was worse than he thought. So many species. So much death. All hidden behind lies and propaganda. We need to share this, he said. Everywhere, everyone. Bora set up the transmission. Do-Yun recorded a new message. He showed the records. He named names. He gave dates and locations. He made it impossible to deny. The Galactic Council is not a government, he said at the end. It is a murderer. They killed my people. They killed the Kelreth. They killed others. And they will keep killing until someone stops them. I'm asking the galaxy to stand up. Not for me. Not for humanity. For yourselves. For your children. For the future you deserve. The Council's time is over. A new age is beginning. Stand with us or stand aside, but do not stand in our way. He ended the transmission. Within hours, everything changed. Fleets that had supported the Council turned neutral. Worlds that had been afraid to speak began to shout. The Council's power crumbled. Admiral Kren gathered every ship he could control, every loyal soldier, every weapon. "If the human wants a war," he said, "then let us give him one." The fleets moved toward the Sol system. The final battle was coming, and Do-Yun was ready. The Sol system had never seen so many ships. Admiral Kren's fleet filled the space between Mars and Jupiter. Thousands of warships. The largest force the Council had ever gathered. Enough firepower to burn every planet in the system to ash. And facing them was Do-Yun's fleet, smaller, made of merchants and rebels and ancient machines, but determined. Ready to die for the truth, Do-Yun stood on the bridge of his command ship. Around him, his allies waited for orders. Miran, Bora, Tesh, Sujin's hologram flickered beside them. Behind them, Earth turned slowly in the darkness. Beautiful and blue, worth fighting for. "They outnumber us 3-1, Sujin reported. "Their weapons are newer. Their shields are stronger. What do we have?" Do-Yun asked. "Home field advantage. And 3,000 years of human engineering they never knew existed." A message came from Kren's flagship. "Human, this is your final chance. Surrender now and your allies will be spared. Continue this foolishness and everyone dies. Your choice." Do-Yun opened a channel to his whole fleet. Every ship, every soldier, every being who had come to fight beside him. When I woke up from cryo-sleep, I was alone. The last human in the galaxy. Everyone I knew was dead. Everything I loved was gone. The galaxy had forgotten us, erased us, turned us into monsters and stories. I could have given up. I could have accepted it. But I did not. Because I remembered who we really were. We were not perfect. We made mistakes. But we were kind. We were brave. We cared about each other. And we never stopped fighting for what was right. He looked at the fleet of ships around him. Aliens who had become his friends. His family. Today we fight for more than humanity. We fight for every species the Council has crushed. Every people they have erased. Every lie they have told. Today we show the galaxy that the truth cannot be killed. That hope cannot be buried. That the things that matter most will always find a way to survive. He took a breath. All ships, battle stations. This is it. The fleet's charged. Space exploded with light and fire. Weapons blazed. Shields flared and died. Ships broke apart and burned. It was chaos and destruction on a scale that had not been seen in 3,000 years. Do-Yun's fleet fought hard, but they were pushed back. Kren's forces were too strong. Too many. Then Sujin played her card. "Activating Project Last Light," she said. Deep in the asteroid belt, hidden under rocks and ice, 1,000 human warships came alive. They were old, ancient, but they were built by humans at the peak of their power. They were built to survive anything. The ships flew out of the asteroids and hit Kren's fleet from behind. Everything changed. Kren's forces were trapped between two enemies. Their formation broke. Their coordination failed. Ships crashed into each other. Weapons hit their own allies. "Push forward," Do-Yun ordered. "Everything we have." The rebel fleet surged. They broke through the Council lines. They reached the flagships. Do-Yun's ship flew straight at Kren's command vessel. The Admiral's guards tried to stop him, but they were too slow. Do-Yun's pilot, Bora, was too good. "Take me in close," Do-Yun said. "How close?" "Close enough to walk." They flew so near to Kren's ship that the hulls almost touched. Do-Yun put on a spacesuit and jumped. He flew through the void, silent, cold, alone. He hit the enemy hull and cut through with a torch. He crawled inside and started killing. The guards that found him were not ready. They expected an old soldier, weak from cryo-sleep. Instead, they found a Special Forces operative with nothing left to lose. Do-Yun moved through them like a ghost. Fast and brutal and unstoppable, he reached the bridge. Kren was waiting with a weapon pointed at the door. He fired the moment Do-Yun entered. The shot hit Do-yun in the shoulder and spun him around, but Do-yun did not fall. He grabbed Kren's weapon and pulled it away. He hit the Admiral in the face, once, twice, 3 times. Kren fell to the ground, bleeding. "You cannot win," Kren said. "Even if you kill me, the Council will send more. They will always send more. Humanity is one man. One man cannot change the galaxy." Do-yun looked down at him. "I am not one man. I am the first of many." He knocked Kren unconscious and took control of the flagship. He broadcast a message to the Council fleet. "Admiral Kren has been defeated. Your leadership is gone. Your cause is lost. Stand down now, and you will not be harmed. Continue fighting, and you will die. The choice is yours." One by one, the Council ships stopped firing. They lowered their weapons. They surrendered. The battle was over. Do-yun sat in the Admiral's chair and looked at Earth through the window. His shoulder was bleeding. His body was broken. But his heart was full. They had one dot in the weeks that followed. The galaxy transformed. The Galactic Council collapsed. The truth was too clear, the evidence too strong. The leaders who had ordered the genocide were arrested. The species that had suffered demanded justice. A new government formed. A true alliance of equals. Humans were not a myth anymore. They were founding members on Earth. Do-yun oversaw the greatest project in history. The bunker that Dr. Park Ji-soo had left was opened. The DNA samples were prepared. The embryos were grown. Cloning facilities and artificial wombs were built. The first new humans in 3,000 years were born. They were small and fragile. They cried and slept and needed care. But they were alive. They were human. Do-yun held one of them in his arms. A little girl with black hair and dark eyes. She looked up at him without understanding anything. She did not know what she was, what she meant. "You are the future," he whispered to her. "You are everything we fought for." Years passed. Earth filled with life again. Cities rose. Farms spread. Schools opened. Children grew up knowing nothing of extinction. They learned history, but it was just history, not their burden. Do-yun watched them and felt something he had not felt since waking up from Cryo-sleep.peace. He was old now. Gray hair, lined face. Scars that never fully healed. He had spent his life fighting. First as a soldier in Korea, then as the last human. Then as a leader of the rebellion. Now he could rest. One day, a young girl found him at the memorial. It was a wall of names. Everyone who had died. Every human the Council had erased. Millions of names that covered a structure a kilometer long. "Excuse me," the girl said. "You're Kon Do-yun, right? The one from the stories?" "I am. What was it like, being the last one?" Do-yun looked at the wall. So many names. So many lives. "Lonely," he said. "Very lonely, but you brought us back." "Not alone?" "I had help. Friends who believed in me. Allies who fought beside me." The girl thought about this. "Were you scared?" Do-yun smiled. "Every day, but I was more scared of giving up. More scared of letting them win. So I kept going. And here we are." The girl nodded seriously. Then she ran back to her friends, laughing, playing, being young. Do-yun watched her go. He thought about Bora, still flying her ship across the galaxy. About Miran, rebuilding the Kelrith communities. About Tesh, serving in the new government. About Sujin, teaching in the academy, passing on human knowledge to a new generation. They had done it. Against all odds. Against the whole galaxy, humanity was home. That night, Do-yun walked through the streets of the new city. He saw families eating dinner together. He saw couples walking hand in hand. He saw children pointing at the stars. He found a bench and sat down. He looked up at the sky. At the stars that had once seemed so empty, they were not empty anymore. "We were forgotten," he said softly, to himself, to everyone who had died. "We were erased. But we were never gone. And now the galaxy will remember." He closed his eyes. and for the first time in 4,000 years he felt like he was truly home.